What up, Bulls Nation? We've got a live CHGO Bulls right around the corner. On today's show, another Bulls training camp practice in the books. The media heard from Josh Giddey after practice concluded. He sounded very confident about his role coming into this season and everyone on the team knowing their role as well. Best case scenario for Josh and the Bulls, we'll try and answer that question. Plus, Katy's going to throw a few other what-ifs and fill in the blanks for us for the upcoming Bulls season. And sadly, at the end of today's show, we'll talk a little T-Swift as we bid farewell to Queen Katy. Next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to the CHGO Bulls podcast. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That is Big Dave. Bow, bow, bow. PAWL Sports. Will the Go Gottlieb, perfectly coiffed. Everybody at the Advocate Center is talking about the goat's hair.
All right.
Will_Gottlieb. And Queen of the Controls. She's not gone yet. Let's see if we can convince her to say the one and only Katy Duffy. What up, Katy?
Hi.
Hey. Shout out to everybody joining us in the chat. Maddie Legend, Fish, Dreads, Trick Daddy Dex, Cameron, Beef Dip saying how many likes is enough to make Katy stay? All the Kaminga talk really pushed her over the edge. You will be missed, Katy. Best of luck to you.
As soon as I heard the Kaminga talk coming back like 2 weeks ago, I was like, yep, out of here.
Not even 2 weeks. We talked about it in one of our shows this week. The week of Bulls training camp, Kaminga still somehow snuck his way in.
I mean, did
to
you see
our
what,
Bulls podcast?
Did you see what Jake Fisher just tweeted?
Oh God, no! What?
Bulls, Kings, and Suns are teams that still have interest in acquiring Jonathan Kaminga.
I'm sorry, Jake,
just now?
That was just rude.
Well, it was on a BR live stream or whatever, and then Dunk Central.
And then somebody aggregated
it. Yeah.
Even Jake Fisher is trying to convince you to stay, but with reverse psychology, Katy.
Reverse psychology.
What if we talk about Kaminga more?
What if
I think it's Kaminga's
CHGO
agent
Kaminga?
is trying to get you to stay because I think that's where all this is coming from.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Dredd said, damn, first Troll Joe, now Katy. Should I not get attached to the person behind the camera? Yeah, I don't know why. And it's also weird that it's happening right around the same time as Joey's departure last year.
Keep telling you, they elevate. You come on this show and produce.
This is
your elevate.
You guys,
Star maker. CHGO Bulls is a star-making podcast.
That's how we do it,
Not for any of the three of us.
I was just about to say.
Just our producers who
You
go
make
on to
us
bigger and
too
better
good.
things. But that's how good they make us look. Draws people's attention.
Slow down. This is already amazing.
Well,
let's take that in.
Not much
Let's
effort
take that
is
in.
needed to go into that.
Let's take it in.
Yeah.
But she's incredible. Can we start that?
Yeah,
She is
not
amazing.
only likes. Let's get the likes up for Katy today.
Yes.
Throw some super chats maybe our way. We'll do what we can to make sure that those dollars end up in Katy's pocket.
Yeah.
I've still never known where the super chat dollars go.
It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. But yeah, send them in.
They go to an account somewhere.
Somebody's account.
Like Forrest Gump. They said it was $1 million wound. I don't know who collects that money, but I never saw a dime. Shot him directly in the buttocks.
I'd like to see
had
that.
to sneak in at least one movie reference of a movie you haven't seen in full, Katy.
I don't know why you're saying one. You know
I
there's
was
going
about
to
to
be
say,
like 10.
Oh, there are
there's
more
a
on
lot.
the way.
There's so many more coming.
I've already used an Ace Ventura gift from our team account today.
He did do that.
Come
Yes.
on now.
Proud of you
I
on that.
did it for Katy.
Good call.
Chandler, you
So
have an
petty.
assignment. The next time you and Katy are just like lounging around on a night with nothing to do, what should we watch? Make her watch Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Have you seen that movie?
Chandler doesn't have the attention span to watch a movie.
It's a perfect movie for people with very little attention span.
Chandler once said to me, and by once I mean like 2 weeks ago, he said to me, I would rather climb Mount Everest than watch 2 movies back to back. That is how bad his attention
You know people
span is.
die trying to climb Mount Everest.
That lets you
right?
know how serious he is, sir. He's not playing around.
Oh my gosh.
Go back to backs.
That is insane.
Not happening, baby. Not happening.
That's right, Trick Daddy X. Like and subscribe Hit that subscribe button if you aren't subscribed to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel yet for whatever reason. So
We're
you get
very
alerts
close
every
to
time we go
90K.
live with the show.
Close to
And we are
90K.
closing in on 90,000
That's a big
subscribers here at CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Appreciate it. Devin just said, "Life of a Showman." The Chronicles of Man. We will get to some T Swift talk at the end of the show. We promised Katy we would, and she just dropped a fresh album, guys. It's lit, as the kids say.
I got
Matt's
a
having
text.
a hard time.
I got a text from Matt at 12:19 a.m. about Taylor Swift. That's how I know that my presence here is being felt.
That's right. Because I was like, oh, crap. I just remembered she said it was going to drop at 11 p.m. It's 12:19 a.m. I'm up. I'm sitting around. I know Katie's up. She's a night owl like me. Just sent her a quick text to let her know I was one song in. I was like, okay.
I did see a cool promotion for her album. It was on Uber Eats. Like
You
instead
can't
of
eat songs.
yes, but Eats is TS. They made the TS orange,
Oh.
and I thought that was very clever.
Smart.
Smart move for them.
Some
man.
good marketing
looking
right there.
Yeah, really good marketing. Shout out to them for that.
Katie said it earlier, going to miss Katie going game time hoot during the ad read. All the best, Queen. Yes, we'll shower Katie with your praise and adoration and affection in the comments throughout today's show. But we will also actually talk some Bulls because that's why we're here 5 days a week. So go. Y'all got to sneak in and catch the tail end of today's practice and see some guys working on one-on-one individual drills and whatnot. Josh Giddey was the lone player to talk to the media after today's practice, correct?
That is correct.
And he sounded super confident. I mean, why would you not? Deal signed. I saw he posted a picture on his Instagram of him and AK and a few other people of the chairman of the board of the Giddey committee.
As I call them, Depeche Mode.
Sitting around a table with Giddey's contract
Yes.
freshly signed. So, Goat, what was your biggest takeaway from getting a chance to talk to Giddey, not just like media day podium, but after a week of practices?
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit last year, especially at the start of the season, where I think he was still kind of figuring things out. It took him a little while to get acclimated, and he's talked about it a bunch. Like after the Levine trade, both he and Kobe were kind of thrust into these roles where they had to be running the show, and I think that was much more in line with how Giddey views himself and feels comfortable on the basketball court as far as being the one with the ball in his hands. And so my line of questioning to him today was just about like his level of confidence and what it means to him to go into a season knowing his role, to go into a season having that sort of already built in as carryover from last year compared to going into last season where there was some more, uncertainty or just him kind of taking some time. Kobe talked about it too on media day of Giddey being like more of a reserved guy and it taking a little while for him to start to feel acclimated. But then when he did, I think you saw his play really, increase and improve with that. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to is like, we talked a lot over the last however many months of like the Bulls having success, but like, was it real? Were they playing against real teams? Were they like doing it against, is it something that's sustainable? And I think Giddey's confidence is going to inform how well they play because I think that's going to inform how well he plays.
Yeah, and he has every right to have that high confidence, knowing that everything is kind of being built around you, knowing that you got fresh new money in your pocket, knowing you have that job security at least for the next 4 years, and knowing you're the engine of the offense. Like, you have nothing but the confidence coming in as that 22-year-old, as he should have in himself. He had it in himself last year, but he was very realistic with how he talked about what he needed to get better at and how he was coming in because he had to get acclimated to the team. He had to figure some things out. That acclimation, schmacclamation. This is your team now. You know what I'm saying?
Schmacclamation.
You got to come around. You got to acclimate yourself to me now because I'm the one who's running things. But he's the one, man. He is the one. And he's walking around and talking the talk as somebody who is exactly that.
Right.
And I like that look on Josh Giddey for real.
And, it makes sense that Josh Giddey came into last season a bit apprehensive, you might say,
Sure.
or just conservative in trying to
I think that's a good word.
like blend himself in and around to the pieces that were already in place, including a healthy again and playing at an all-star level out of the gate, Zach LaVine, who still had the ball a lot. You had a making his long-awaited return, Lonzo Ball, also a guy who likes to make creative plays for his teammates, just like Josh Giddey does, who also is getting back out on the floor. And Kobe White coming off of nearly winning Most Improved Player and having the first 20 points per game scoring season of his career. So there was, I think Josh even said, I'm not sure if you mentioned it, Goat, I can't recall what you were saying specifically, but he used the phrase like tiptoeing around. He was kind of like tiptoeing in last season, and that may have been a part of why it took a minute for him to find his footing. But then Zach gets traded, and then all of a sudden this huge space opens up for Giddey to be allowed to operate the way he wants to. So knowing that all of the same pieces that he felt comfortable with playing in that post All-Star break stretch of games where he was performing at a high level and the team was winning a lot of games, like, why wouldn't you be confident?
That's a good way to say I didn't think of it in that way. Like Alonzo leaving, I'm thinking offensively, I'm saying. Lonzo leaving, Zach leaving, and DeMar leaving. He feels at least half of that, with just how he plays and his usage percentage and how much he needs the ball and how he needs to create. And everybody has to kind of, orbit around him, you know what I mean, when he's doing his thing. So he kind of fits all of that for what they're doing. Obviously, that Lonzo Ball because of the facilitation, but the star of what DeMar DeRozan is that role is open right now for the Chicago Bulls. It's open right now. You could say Kobe for sure. But that role is open right now as far as that guy on the Chicago Bulls. So he can blend himself into part of that. And as far as Zach LaVine, just the actual usage of that and what Zach LaVine meant to the team, especially in that fourth quarter. Because before, when Zach was here and all this, we didn't see Giddey on the floor because of his defense. Now with them going, you have no choice but to play him on the floor. He's got to be out there. And he understood that and got better. And I'm not just going to say it was given to him because he definitely earned that. He's like, I'm not great at defense. Well, guess what? I'm just going to be more try hard. I'm going to crash the boards more. I'm going to do something a little bit different to make sure I'm on the basketball floor. So he's trying to fill not all three roles, but just pieces of those three roles to take half of what the Bulls have missing and put it on himself.
Well, think about it, too. It's like, where does he feel like he's where his strengths can be most felt is like when he's making decisions with the ball in his hands, when he's the one that's like initiating the play and getting people involved. So you go from a position where, he's doing some of that. He's bringing the ball up from time to time, but you're still sharing those responsibilities to now he's really the primary guy in doing it. So you're taking him out of a position where he is not only like you're not playing to his strengths, but it's like in some ways a detriment to the team if he's just kind of like standing in the corner, not being guarded, to you've got the ball, you can make decisions, and you have kind of like unlimited freedom to play your game. Like that's a huge swing. And like a lot of times I think when you go from like low usage, even guys that are really efficient in those roles will decrease in their efficiency just because the degree of difficulty gets a lot harder on those shots because the defense is more keyed in on you because you're having to be the one that starts the initial advantage and either gets people involved or scores. That's a really tough jump to make. But not only did he hold his efficiency, he really improved it, both in jump shooting and also like in everything. I mean, every element of his game, he was just so much better. And I think that just speaks to his confidence and his comfort that he built up. And now in conjunction with the success that he had during the last part of the season, plus $100 million, you probably feel pretty good. And he wasn't like arrogant. Like he's still very humble. And he wasn't like talking about, I know we have some quotes we can share. He wasn't like talking about it like I'm the man, he's still being very thoughtful and, very honest about like what he needs to do to help the team. But I think he just feels like a little bit more security in his role. And I think that can help his confidence. And I think when he feels confident, that's when you start to see him at his best, which is true for a lot of players.
Let's take a look at this quote from Josh after today's practice. He said, I think having a clear idea of where you fit into the team, what your role is, that gives you confidence. And when you have coaches and teammates that empower you, you feel good. And that's not just for me, but that's for everybody. I think that belief is shared amongst the whole group. So we all feel good going into the season, coming out of camp like we just did. I think everybody's got confidence going forward. Obviously, as a point guard, naturally the ball's in my hands a little bit more, and there's a little more responsibility, but the same thing applies for everybody else. Everyone has a role to play in a basketball team, so I thought we did a good job at camp, not solidifying roles, so to say, but of guys understanding what they need to do to make an impact on the team. Because to me, that's, of course, Josh Giddey feels confident. Freshly signed contract, you're our guy, $100 million man, the second biggest contract the Bulls have ever signed any player to in franchise history, second only to Zach LaVine's.
Shout out.
And it's your offense to run. My question is, he said, like, everybody seems to know their roles, not necessarily solidifying those roles. You're getting this many minutes, you're playing this position, but the understanding of what we're collectively trying to do as a team. I'm curious about other guys who maybe aren't feeling as confident in knowing exactly what their role is as Josh Giddey does after a week of camp. So we can talk about that a little bit after the break, and we'll also get Katy to toss us some questions about what we might see the Bulls accomplish this season. Hit the frickin' like for Queen Katy while you listen to some ads.
There it is.
Today's show brought to you by Circa Sports Illinois. Whatever the sport, the app to bet is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports is sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service featuring, that's right, real human beings to talk to instead of the stupid AI bots that are taking over the world. Circa still uses humans. Also, shout out to them. They took great care of our CHGO Bears crew for that Bears game out in Vegas this past week. Circa Sports has all of your favorite teams to bet on in every game this season. Spreads, props, futures, even in-game betting. Circa Sports has it for you. We got hockey and basketball about to be underway. We got football. We got playoff baseball, college football, whatever you want to bet on. Fun to bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. What are you waiting for? Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 and older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's cold.
Brr.
Actually, it's hot.
Hot.
But it's going to be cold because winter is coming, and it's not just the awesome TV show that I hope all of you have watched. But
I am the Night King.
ooh, he's seen it. 4 seasons. Heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric is what you need to get all those things together. Because at 4 seasons, they guarantee same-day installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, and generator needs, with no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. Celebrate. And guess what? You can save up to $4,000 on furnaces and comfort systems with 4 seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. Furnaces start at $39 a month, and furnace AC combos start at $57 a month. Call today and save $50 from your trusted local experts. That's 4 seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. They've been serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. They are your trusted local experts. Visit 4seasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. Because for all the right reasons, Peck.
Call 866-4 Seasons. And we back. CHGO Bulls hanging out on Friday afternoon, steering y'all into your weekend. Shout out to those of you hanging out with us on YouTube. Hit the like button if you didn't do it during the ad break. So we were talking about how confident Josh Giddey sounded after today's practice when he was chatting with Goat and his fellow beat members. Confident in his role, which I think for a player like Giddey is very important. Paul in the comments said $100 million would probably give me confidence too. Yeah, exactly. He must have a feeling now that it's his team, it's his offense to run, and is also saying things as he did on Media Day, like defensively, it's going to be a group effort.
Yes.
It's not on me. It's not on just Isaac Okoro coming in and defining our entire defensive identity as a team. Everything's going to be collective effort and collective identity. But playing to this system that Billy, installed to varying degrees of success last season and trying to build off of that.
Yeah, all of that is fact. All of that is very, very true. I'm just very excited to watch him again. And I know I've said this a lot, from day one. I'm very excited just to watch this young man from day one and just how he handles this situation, because he's now in a situation, even though he was in OKC and, he had moments where he was kind of the guy. I don't think it was on him like it's on him here, like in Chicago. I don't believe in the huge market things, but it's still a thing. OKC market and Chicago's market is a little bit bigger. But here in Chicago, just how he was kind of brought in and the person that they gave up to get him, and then the negotiations that we went through in this offseason, and then to the point where people are like, how come he's not sitting with his teammates, in Las Vegas and all this other stuff. And, playing for his national team last year, hurting his ankle, getting all that stuff together. Like, he's been through a lot just in a very short period of time that I don't think he really went through on the basketball floor in OKC, outside of them, saying, hey, you can't play. You should sit on the bench right now. But it's all on him. And it's going to be on his shoulders. And I think that is a very exciting time and a very exciting thing for this young man. And I love the way that he's approaching it. I love the way he's taking it. It doesn't seem like it's too big for him. It doesn't seem like it's too much. It seems like he wants it. He wants it to be this kind of way, but knows that he can't do it alone. Knowing that he has to have his team with him, knows that those guys have got to have his back as much as he has to have their back as well. So I'm excited for his mental and how he's walking in to this mentally. Everything else as far as on the floor will be proven, but I don't think he's been in this situation yet as it's been on his shoulders yet in the NBA as it is right now with the Bulls.
And also, I think this is kind of a weird thing to say, and some people might disagree, but in some ways, I think, like, obviously there's a lot of people that just, like, were not Giddey fans, and they probably won't be. Like, he's a very divisive player in this way. But I think for the people that did really buy into him either as a trade target or as, you know, a player that was putting up 20, 10, and 10 for the second part of the season, I think that, like, at a certain point, the, like, honeymoon phase of young player who's putting up big stats is going to wear off. And now he's on his second contract. You know, he even said today, like, his 5th year in the league, a lot of times, like, guys kind of are who they are. It's hard to, like, really transform their game at that point. So at a certain point, like, they're going to need to start winning. And he's going to need to start, like, impacting games in a meaningful way to where the Bulls are, like, getting into the playoffs. I think this whole transition stage of younger players, you know, moving on from DeMar and Caruso and Zach, and now turning the team over to Giddey and Kobe and Mattis, like, that's great. At a certain point, like, the patience with that runs out. And I think this year in particular, there's going to be some of that. There's going to be a leash with that. But, like, if they don't make the playoffs this year, and then you're, like, looking at a roster that's going to be kind of open going into the offseason, like, that's, I think, when people are going to start to get a little bit more antsy. And so I think he does need to take steps forward. And I'm not saying that he can't, but I do think that, like, even for the, you know, Giddey committee, so to speak, like, at a certain point, like, there needs to be some substance behind the stats.
Boom.
Some of us are antsy already.
Yeah.
Sure, and I'd clarify
It needs
that.
to,
I think
but that needs to be a thing. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be shown and proven out there. Like, we can't come back in here like, guys, give a little more time. Like, time is out.
Right.
It's about
Like,
playing right now.
Could you imagine if the Bulls lose in the play-in tournament again? Brace yourselves, y'all. Very, very realistic possibility. And AK says at next spring season-ending press conference, all right, we're just asking for a little more patience.
But that's exactly what I mean. It's like they do. Okay, I know they're not going to, like, make the playoff, you know, commitment this year.
He
feel
already
like-
had his chance, and he decided not to.
I kind of feel like they do need to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
Like, they not only should that be the goal, but, like, I think that anything less than that is going to be, you know,
Uncivilized.
a pretty big disappointment
Failure.
because it will mean that they need to
Use
make
the F word.
significant changes to the roster again.
Right.
And if they don't, I mean, that would be unforgivable. So, like, this season, I think, is going to determine whether the path they're on right now is feasible long term. You can think that it is or isn't, but, like, at the end of the year, we will have the result, and that will determine, are they going to continue on this path? Are they going to bring back some of these guys that are expiring around Giddey, or are they going to have to strip it down a little bit and hopefully with a good draft pick be able to retool around some of the younger players, whether Giddey's included in that or not. But I think that, like, in a lot of ways, this year really is meaningful in that way.
Yeah. Like, this statement right here from Jebediah here, not Giddey's fault. The roster isn't good.
Giddey's on the roster.
He's on the roster, bro. And that is out of here now.
He's part of that.
You know, when you're the dude
He's one
and
of the
you're the
main
guy,
pieces of that.
dude, and when you're that guy and that, it doesn't matter, you know, who else is with you like that. You're going to get it with all the praise and all the criticism, whether it's just or unjust. You're going to get it just like that. You can look at bum teams like the Washington Wizards when they had Bradley Beal, who was out there cooking all the time. What did you hear about more so than anything was people complaining about Bradley Beal. Mm-hmm. And that's why, because he's the man on the team. Didn't matter that he had Matt at the 3 and me at the 4.
Hey, now,
it didn't matter, bro.
I was in my prime.
You know what I'm saying? Them hamstrings was nice. All right?
That was pre-herniated disc.
You feel me?
y'all.
I was getting 6 fouls in every 5 minutes out here. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't matter who is around him. When you're the guy, that's how you're going to be judged. I don't care what great star, I shouldn't even say great, but what star player when it's their team that you look at. That is exactly how they're judged, man, on that. I know he's not Michael Jordan, all right? But that's how Jordan was judged. But how come he can't win a championship? How come he can't carry Granville Waiters to the Eastern Conference Finals? This is how you're going to be looked at when you're that guy, bro. It doesn't matter about the roster.
It's the same way that Bulls fans talked about Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
For years.
Exactly right.
Like, even when he was outplaying his previous contract, the one with the Bulls matched the offer from the Kings.
Yeah.
That was pennies on the dollar compared to what his level of play was. Then he signed the big one, and Bulls fans all collectively, not all, but lots collectively said,
yeah,
this team can only go as far as Zach LaVine takes him, and that's not very far, and they're paying him this much money. Zach's gone now.
Yep.
They got off of him and his contract. Josh Giddey is now the highest paid player on the team.
Yeah.
With that comes those expectations.
That's it, man.
And think
That's
about, too, like the way that the narrative builds. Like, when the Bulls traded for LaVine, it was like, oh, man, this guy's got an ACL injury. Is he going to be good? Obviously, like, you have a lot of questions about that. And then he signs this 4-year, $80 million contract. And that was, like, at the time, a lot of money. I think it was $78 million, 18 per year, something like that. It was a lot of money, and people were frustrated about it. I thought it was a really bad contract at first. And then all of a sudden, he, like, is playing really well. And then he gets to a point where he's outplaying it. And then the narrative turns, like no more frustration. There's like excitement about this player. And so I do think, like, fair or not, and it's hard, especially if you're the player, to like be like, I'm not going to take less money so that the fans can like think that I'm a better value contract. Like, no.
Right.
But like from the outside perspective, so much of what you do is judged based on your value relative to what you make. And so Giddey could get to a point where he's, not playing up to $25 million of value, and people might start to get frustrated, and people might start to realize that they're not going to be able to move him. And you can see me talking about a lot of the same things that we've been talking about with Patrick or Zach or whoever. Or it could go the other way, and he could far exceed the $25 million that he is signed to. And now the narrative on him totally switches. So I think this is a real pivotal point in not only where Giddey is in terms of his growth and development as a player, but in the league and the general perception about him as a result of his contract. So I think that, like, fair or not, and it's really not fair.
Yeah,
right.
That is a big deal.
It is
That's
not
what it
fair,
is.
but that's like the numbers next to the name, those expectations. And, going back to that Jebediah comment you mentioned, Dave, not saying it's not Giddey's fault the roster isn't good. And again, I think that this is what some of us skeptics refer to a lot back with how we saw OKC end. Because of Giddey's very specific, like, niche skill set, the more star power teammates he has, the more obsolete Giddey's skill set becomes.
They need the basketball.
Yeah.
Got you.
So it's like, if Giddey is going to be the guy or one of the two most important guys on the roster, how good is that roster? It's the question I've been asking for a year now. But until Kobe White gets paid to stick around, and perhaps maybe even likely on a higher average annual salary than Josh Giddey, even by a few $1 million a year, until that happens, until that Kobe White paycheck happens, everything is about how good can this team be with Josh Giddey as its engine.
Yeah.
And we'll see. So, like, best case scenario, that's an interesting question. Before we go to break here, is it Josh Giddey averages 17, 9, and 7? The Bulls find their way to 41, maybe 44, 45 wins in a East that's even weaker than we're already expecting it to be, and they sneak the 6th seed or win their way out of the play-in tournament on their 4th try?
Yeah.
Like, is that best case scenario where you feel good about Josh Giddey as a focal point of the team moving forward?
Yeah. Yeah, it's about winning. Like, it has to be. And you guys already said it. Like, playoffs has to be the goal. Or, as you stated, it was a failure. So even if you do go to the play-in, you got to get out of it. We cannot go back to the play-in for the 4th time and not get out of it. Where's the growth? Where is it? It doesn't exist. Getting to a 6th seed is absolute growth for this team. If they get even in a weak East, you can look at it as absolute growth for that basketball team, because whoever goes to the finals will not look at it like it wasn't growth for them. I can promise you that. So, yeah, they absolutely should be looking at this season in those kind of terms, Matt. Like, you can't be okay with what you did previously. You just can't be. You can't set that as your bar or as your standard. It has to be, we're going out of the play-in, not just making it to the final game to see who gets to go. No, we're going out, all right? And we got a chance to get there with a 6th seed. We're going to take that chance as well. So they have to be thinking along those lines. And if that occurs, and that's the best case scenario, and Josh Giddey is a huge part of it, he deserves all the praise, all the credit, and all the accolades that he can get.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think, like, you can't have 2 seasons of losses to the play-in, losses to Miami in the play-in with DeRozan and Levine, and then you can't have 2 seasons of losses in the play-in to Miami with Giddey and Kobe.
Yes.
Like, that would just be completely spinning your wheels. And I think even though they've turned over the roster, 2 consecutive years of that would really feel, even to them, I would imagine, really sort of aimless. And so, again, I think it just speaks to the importance of them finding some level of success this year, however you define that. For me, I think it's whether it's through the play-in or the playoffs, like, they need a playoff series this year. I think, like, anything less than that is really, it would just be concerning. And to me, that would mean that you really have to, like, start stripping down the roster.
Yeah, bro.
We got to knock out our second ad break real quick, but right before we do, shout out to Ethan Clark, who just said in the comments, just signed up to become a diehard. Let's go! Also wondering, still spots open in the fantasy league? Goat?
I think there is, we expanded it. So I think there are some more teams. If you're a diehard member and you want to join, you can find the link in our Discord in the fantasy basketball section. So
nice.
Check that out. Thanks for joining. Ethan.
Speaking of which, after the break, Katie, throw the QR code up for those of you who want to become a diehard today and make that smart decision just like Ethan did. Listen to some ads, hit the like, throw Katie some super chats, and we'll be right back.
Show love, man.
Today's show is brought to you by Ownwell. Listen up, Cook County homeowners. Overpaying for property taxes is something far too many Cook County residents are doing, and you don't have to be one of them. In Cook County, appeal windows vary by township, close up rapidly, and are very difficult to win. So let Ownwell's experts ensure you're prepared for when it counts. You can sign up in just 3 minutes, and their team of local experts and cutting-edge technology can start saving you money with no upfront costs. In Cook County, Ownwell has a 25% contingent fee, meaning you only pay if your property taxes are reduced, and 86% of Ownwell's customers receive a reduction. No upfront costs, savings, or free guarantee. Only pay if you save. Save money on your Cook County property taxes with Ownwell. Sign up in less than 3 minutes and start your appeal today at ownwell.com/cook. That's OWNWELL.com/cook. Ownwell. Let them cook. Make you money.
You know what they always tell you when you're at the plate, ladies and gentlemen? Keep your eye on the dang on ball. That's where it needs to be. And guess what? If you're a coach, ladies and gents, listen up. Keep your eyes and your ears on me. Because if you're looking for more athletes to train, Eye on the Ball is where you need to be. It's very simple. Create your profile, upload your background check, and kaboom, you're in. And there's a new promotion for coaches. Guess what? I'm going to say it low for you. No, I'm not. 6 free months. That's what you're going to get. Then after that, just $150 a month or $500 for the whole year. Athletes of all ages and sports can find you directly. And here's the best part. Eye on the Ball doesn't mess with your schedule, your payments, or your business. Don't mess with none of that. You're in full control. We just connect you with athletes who are already looking for a coach that is just like you. So if you're ready to grow your coaching business and reach more athletes, go check it out right now. EyeOnTheBall.net. That's EyeOnTheBall.net. Don't wait. Athletes are ready. They are looking for you.
Rolling along, CHGO Bulls on Friday afternoon. Peck, Big Dave, Goat, Bow, and the Queen, Katie, on the controls. Hit the like if you didn't do it during the ad break. Sign up to become a diehard, like cool person Ethan just did. That's right, Sarah. Bull down. We're only a few days away from her being able to say that on a Bulls game night.
This is true.
Tuesday night.
Tuesday.
We're so close.
Cavs.
Speaking of preseason action, CHGO Sports YouTube channel later tonight, CHGO Blackhawks postgame.
Yeah.
Taking on the Minnesota Wild. Our Blackhawks crew will be here for a postgame show for y'all.
Hey, Sean.
Let's do that hockey, baby. But right now, we're talking hoops, and we wanted to ask some more questions, kind of in the same vein of best case scenario for Giddey and the Bulls. Some other fill-in-the-blank type questions. What needs to happen for this to happen? What happens if this happens? Katie's going to be our trivia game show host, essentially. Katie's going to ask us a bunch of questions. We're going to go kind of rapid fire, see how many we can get through. Katie, take it away.
All right, we're going to do some fill-in-the-blanks. I'm going to throw it up. I'm going to read it, and then you tell me what your answer is.
Play-in tournament.
So,
you have to ask a question first. Sorry.
Let's start here. In order for the Bulls to make the playoffs, blank has to happen. Obviously, this is your opinion. Blank has to happen. It could be
Armageddon.
one thing. It could be three things. It could be a Bulls, thing. It could be like the Eastern Conference explodes. Like it could be whatever you feel in your heart.
My answer is in order for the Bulls to make the playoffs, they will have to win either 1 or 2 play-in tournament games. Because I see the Bulls as a team that will end up somewhere between 7 and 10. And they have to win 1 if they're in the 7-8 matchup, or 2 if they're in the 9-10 matchup. That's what they need to do to make the playoffs this year. That's my prediction.
For them to make it, they have to beat the Miami Heat.
You rematch part 4?
I just think it's really that simple. The Heat will still be hanging around there.
I don't know why I didn't expect that answer, but I love it.
Yeah, man. Like, they're going to have to beat them.
Specifically in the play-in tournament.
In the play-in tournament.
Because the Bulls played the Heat one of their last regular season games.
Yeah.
And the Bulls smoked them.
Ran them. You
And
know what I mean?
Spo was like, I'm luring you into this false sense of confidence.
Good. Come Bigglesworth.
Oh, my God. How great would a Bulls Heat part 4 rematch be?
Dude, like, it's only right. And I feel like at some point in time in that play-in tournament, whether it's the first game or the game that says you go to the playoffs, they're going to have to play and face that team, and they're going to have to beat them. They can beat them in the regular season. There's plenty of stats showing that they definitely do that. But as we know, Eric Spoelstra plays chess and not checkers. So they're going to have to play a little chess, man, but they're going to have to beat them in the play-in if they want to go to the playoffs.
Shoots and shoots.
Shoots and shoots, baby.
Goat.
I mean, I like both those answers. I think just thinking about it from a regular season perspective, I think the stuff that they've been talking about with regards to like physicality and the possession battle, I think all those things need to happen. But ultimately, it's like, can the individuals and the collective group play to the level that they played down the stretch of last year? If they do that, I think they will make it to either the play-in or the playoffs outright. And they'll have to like
either or nonsense. We're talking playoffs, go, not the play-in. That doesn't count for answering this question, right, Katie?
I have to agree with Matt on that. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if they have a really strong regular season, I think they will get there. And then, I mean, you have to figure out a way to like claw your way through the play-in. I don't really know what else to say about it. Like they need to be I'm buying what they're saying about physicality. I'm not necessarily buying that it's going to manifest, because I don't think that it's necessarily just a like decision you can make. I think it's like a physical thing. But I do think if they play with a higher level of physicality, then they will be a better defensive team, and that will help them in those moments.
Very true.
Referencing Bulls and Heat meeting again, Devin said, never has a 4th entry in a franchise been this disappointing since Fast and Furious. Giggity saying hell freezing
fast,
over.
4 furious to you.
Shout out to our guy Strick, who said, if Katy wins, we make the playoffs.
Katy stays.
Katy stays.
If Katy stays, we make the playoffs.
She's always winning.
Alberto saying 6th seed is what the Bulls need. If they're the 7th seed, they'll just end up losing their spot to Miami. And then I guess whoever is the winner of the 9-10 game.
Bro.
You can't end the season on not losing, but not to Miami, though.
Not to Miami.
If they lose to Miami in the 7-8 and then lose the 9-10 game.
Come on, man.
No, come on now.
Come on.
So many hats. All right, Katie, what's next?
All right. Next one's a little bit controversial.
Controversial?
Controversial.
Well, we don't like
Controversy.
controversy on this here program.
We're never controversial. In order for Billy Donovan to be fired, blank has to happen. I'm not saying Billy should be fired. I want to clarify that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, in what world could he be fired? So in order for him to be fired, blank
Oh, I know this.
has to happen. Dave's got an answer already.
Dave?
AK has to be fired.
Yeah.
For Billy to be fired, AK has to be fired. It's the only way he's leaving. That's it. If we're talking fired, that's the only way. Him leaving could be on his own recognizance and him deciding, I want to go. But the F word, fired, is going to have to be AK being out of there, bro.
Billy leaving of his own volition, could be a thing at some point.
Absolutely.
If he gets tired of going to the play-in tournament every year and losing. But yeah, I think I'm with Dave. My first instinct was if the Dwarfs sell, then whoever comes in might want to pick their own coach.
That's true. That's true.
But,
I think that would probably mean that there's a change in management.
Exactly.
Well.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, one rung higher, but along the same lines.
Go.
Do you think there is any? So I guess the other one could be if something AK does, whether it's year 2 of the Josh Giddey experience or whatever, backfires so horrendously that it gets not only national NBA media scrutiny, but the seats are empty. AK has one card left to play, and it's firing Billy.
That is his card.
I agree with that. I think that's
very true.
That's like the last move that a lot of executives will make before the fingers start to point to them. Obviously, in this case, that has not necessarily gone how it normally goes. But for me, the answer is just like a lot of time has to pass. Like I just don't. I don't see this happening anytime. I mean, they literally just signed extensions. It's not happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Like lots of time, many moons.
We just got our second hell freezing over answer in the comments. Shout out to y'all. Gades is a fan of Dave's answer. Dreads thinks them not making the playoffs. If the Bulls don't make the actual playoffs, that does not equate
Their goal
to Billy
isn't to
getting
make
fired.
the playoffs, so
Yeah.
that wouldn't be.
That's not failing a goal because they did not set that goal because they're cowards. Okay, Katie, what's next?
Okay. In that same vein.
A Billy Donovan Jr. hostile takeover.
Oh, I like that one.
What's next, Katie?
In that same vein, in order for the Bulls to miss the postseason, that means play-in, playoffs, all of it, they missed it. Blank has to happen.
Ooh, a colossal collapse.
So, like, for me, I think the thing is, in the East, you have the Wizards, the Nets, the Hornets. Are just going to be really bad. So you're talking about the Bulls being
Hornets.
one of the bottom 2 teams that are trying, right?
Toronto's, Miami's.
Toronto, Miami,
Philly's a huge question
Philly,
mark with their
Boston,
Indiana.
So to me, the answer is like all those teams stay healthy and all those teams compete throughout the whole season. And you probably also need like the Bulls to have some serious injuries because I just don't see like, look, the Bulls owed a top 10 protected pick to the Spurs last year. Rather than tanking to keep that pick, they traded their best player to keep that pick. They are not tanking. Arturis said it loud and clear on media day. That has been their action for the last 3 years. They're just not doing it. Yeah. So the only way it would happen is if they play really poorly. And I think a lot of that would have to do with health, both on their side and other teams.
I absolutely agree with that. I'm going with your answer, but I think it's perfect. Yes. Like all these other teams that are question mark teams, if that question mark is removed from them and they, play well. And honestly, I think also if the Hornets, what I'm saying, actually are better than just the superior trash people are saying they're going to be. If they're a little bit better, then that's going to be a problem for it as well for the Chicago Bulls, man. But yeah, I think Indiana, especially Indiana and especially the Celtics, if those 2 teams right there are playing well, because I expect in Philly, I expect Toronto to be better because they're healthy. I expect them to be a little bit better. But those 3 teams right there,
honestly, and unless the Celtics and Pacers truly decide to bottom out in their gap years,
right?
If they play to win, I can't imagine Carlisle being like, "All right, boys, let's go out there and lose."
Yeah, they don't do that either.
Right.
No, like
how they roll.
Even with missing Tatum and Halliburton on those respective rosters, I still see the collective talent of those rosters being good enough to be at least play-in tournament. You're
going to be formidable.
Participant worthy.
Yeah, you still got Siakam on that team.
So if those things happen, and maybe a Charlotte and or like, dude, the Zards were playing some respectable ball down the stretch of last season as well.
Sharpshooter, baby.
It's not a lock that the Bulls make the postseason in the play-in variety, but I think a lot of things would have to happen for them to get knocked out.
Agreed.
All right, what do we got next?
All right, we got a player one here. In order for Nikola Vucevic to be traded this season, blank has to happen.
A different NBA executive in the middle of having a stroke calls AK and offers him a first-round pick.
In the middle of it. Okay.
Not at the end of it, in the middle.
That is clearly the correct answer.
At the peak of the
I would say a major injury to a Western Conference playoff team.
Yeah, and I'll be even more specific because I agree with you. Al Horford has to get hurt.
That's what it has to be. Yeah, it has to be that kind of way for a team to pick up the phone because the Bulls aren't going to do it. But a team, another team has to pick up the phone.
Think about
to
the
make
answer
that
we
call.
just gave. The Bulls are not going to tank under any circumstances.
Nope.
So
they
are
ain't
going
calling
to
nobody.
need. They're going to need a player that helps them presently and in the future in order to move on from him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like the Kuminga situation, him signing that deal, I think opens the door. I think you'd probably need to give up more if it's not, I mean, I don't think they would just do Vooch for Kuminga, but like that's probably because they signed Horford. If the 5-out spacing is really working for them and Horford gets hurt, like to me, that's kind of the only team. And maybe there's another injury, but that's kind of
shout out to Dreads who said the way the Vooch gets traded is if a pick is not involved. If a team calls up the Bulls, they're like, hey, AK, I'll give you this player for Vooch in a player-for-player swap. Deal. Vooch is on the next flight out of Chicago.
On the way.
All right, Katie, what's next?
Let's stick with our player ones here. I think this one's even more far-fetched. In order for Noah Essengate to be an NBA starter, not a G League starter, NBA starter this season, blank has to happen.
I mean,
started.
like,
Oh man, like
I'm not specifying how many games. Just
six
starter.
injuries that are, regardless of their severity, concurrent 6 injuries causing players to be unavailable that are wings and forwards and front court players.
the Bulls either have to be really great or really trash. And if they're really, I say really great, meaning if they lock up a 6 seed, then they won't be playing guys. Then Noah Essengate will get some starts. If they lock it up early, he'll get some starts while they're resting guys.
Locked into 6,
yes.
like can't move up, can't move down,
yes, correct.
and have a handful of games left.
Yeah. Then he'll get some time. Then they'll put him out there as a starter. I think you have a chance to see him as a starter. If they are really trash, you absolutely have a chance to see him out there as a starter.
That's interesting. Like, so another question in a similar light, like if it were an over under set at 2.5 starts for Noah in an 82 game season upcoming,
take the under.
I'm taking the under.
Yeah,
I'd probably take the under.
Take the under.
My answer would be if he's just awesome. Like, what if he just plays really well out of the gate and earns a spot? I'm not saying that's going to happen, but like that's probably the pathway.
That's true.
Fish said he gets overnight superpowers. He's been cast as one of the Monstars in Space Jam 3.
It happens.
Sure.
Touch the ball.
Katie, what do you think? Do you think Noah has any shot at starting?
You know, I think to answer that question, you really have to read Goat's article.
Hey, look at that plug. Look at that segue plug.
So Goat sat down with Noah's old coach, and you can scan the QR code to read it, and it'll give you a lot of insight into who
Boom,
Noah
boom.
is. Great article.
A Die Hard's exclusive read. Great in-depth stuff.
Scan
Leave
it.
it up. I want to scan it. I want to see if it
About
works.
Noah Essengate
Wants to
If it
scan
doesn't
that
and his
work.
code.
former German
Scanning
League
the
coach.
QR code,
Scanning it.
making sure it works. It sure does.
Yeah.
We've
you
been
sure
using
wanna
it
flex
for
on
4
them real
days.
quick,
I
though.
sure hope
I wanted
it
to
works.
flex on Katie's idea. That was that was sweet.
Just wanted to say, boom, takes me right to me.
A boom.
Boom. All right, you ready for the next one?
Hit us. Slap him, Katie.
In order for the Bulls to get the #1 draft pick, blank has to happen. I've gone from
The lottery gods must be ever in their favor.
I've gone from least ridiculous to most ridiculous here.
I mean, pure trash. Like they have. Well,
They have to jump from the 11th seed. That's
true.
That's the only option.
it's true. They have. Yeah.
I
would say not making the play-in. Because I can't say tank or just be the worst because I don't think that they'll be shooting for that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they have the players on the team to be the worst team in the East. So I would say not making the play-in.
My answer, I was going to sarcastically say, like, when I finally quit this team and walk away.
Like,
that's when it's like, shout out to our beloved pal Sabine, lifelong Mavs fan. They trade Luka. He's devastated. He's like, screw this franchise, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then they land the #1 pick and the right to draft Cooper Flag. Like, no, so, I mean, as much as I have wanted lottery luck for the Bulls in recent years, and they haven't gotten it, and I've been crying out about them winning meaningless games in March and April and preferring lottery odds to be increased.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They don't deserve it. This franchise and the way they operate, they do not deserve it.
that is not the question.
I know. So, what has to happen for the Bulls to land the #1 pick? Somebody else owns the team when the next lottery happens.
There it is.
Boom.
There it is. That's the man.
I'm going to keep circling back to that answer.
It's been to his
It's a Friday. It's Katie's last day. I'm ramping up.
Oh, that RC Cola, baby.
It's actually a beer, but yeah.
I know, but I was.
I tried some of the zero sugar
Yeah. Oh, what?
just because we were out of the regular.
You tried the zero sugar? I'm
Yeah.
proud of you.
Still just not a fan of artificial sweeteners in general.
That's true. But it was the most
It was
delicious
it
zero
was
sugar
better
you've
than a
ever
lot
had.
of the zero sugar and artificial sweetened colas I've tried in my life.
Because they've been around since 1905.
05, man.
Ain't changed nothing.
That's right.
All right, you want the last one?
Hit
Let's
us.
get it.
Here is the last one. In order for Giannis
Oh, we got a
to
Giannis
choose
question?
the Bulls in free agency, blank has to happen.
Matt has to shave his mustache.
My mustache?
I
Is
have
Giannis
to take
not
off
into
my hat
mustaches?
for a bunch of shows, and Goat has to shave his head.
Wow.
That's what has to happen.
Honestly, I think that's probably the only correct answer.
No, let
And
me
then-
take that back. Matt has to stop eating meat for 2 months
Hey, you know what?
and do that.
I think I could do it.
No, you couldn't.
If I knew it meant the Bulls getting Giannis,
What would you eat?
dude,
I don't believe
if y'all
that.
could zoom into the side eye that Dave just
Get
that's
outta
the most
here, dog.
skeptical side eye look. Dave's
Bombastic.
given me a lot of looks over the years. That was one of the most condescending looks I've ever gotten from him.
Please, dog.
Oh,
Please.
2 months, that's 60,
Please.
60 days.
2 months of you with
60
no meat.
days.
Could he sustain himself on just
Please.
beer?
That's what I was saying. What would you eat,
The man
man?
who made
What?
a butter bacon sandwich. That was it.
Hey, you know what? I haven't. Wait, hold on. Have I? I'm trying to think if I've eaten any meat yet today.
Okay.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, it's 5 p.m., Matt. That's okay. Like, that's not an accomplishment.
What are you talking about?
His body gonna be like, what are we doing?
There's some
What are we doing?
uncooked, uneaten bacon in my fridge right now that I could have eaten today already, but I
so
haven't
what
yet.
did you eat today?
What?
What did you eat today?
I had an English muffin that had no meat on it. It was butter and jam.
Uh-huh.
I had a granola bar that had no meat on it.
No, see,
Some coffee and some juice.
he gonna be looking for loopholes. Like, try, let me get that bacon jam.
Okay,
Spread
dude,
that
so
on
I
here
was
real
about
quick.
to ask you when you were like,
See
what
what I
if,
mean?
what if it's just beer? I was like, can I use bacon as a swivel stick
See?
in my beer?
And this is why you got the look.
A Bloody Mary. A Bloody Mary
please,
that has
man.
like one of the buffets with different like
Stop it.
sausages and linked meats that you can put as accoutrements on your Bloody Mary.
But there are meats and Bloody Marys?
Yeah.
I've never had one.
You've never had a piece of short rib on top of a Bloody Mary. You are missing out on life.
Yeah,
my
2
friend.
months, I can do it.
We're talking Giannis.
I promise you.
We're talking Giannis. I
Oh,
think
no.
I could do it. I think I could do it. I would hate it. I would hate it every day.
You hate life so much. Oh my God, you would be the most irritable person.
Oh my God.
Yo, that would
Can
be
you imagine?
tough.
What if he came back in 2 months and he was just like the beacon of health and he just,
Yeah, because that's what it would be.
his back pain was gone.
Yeah, right.
He's just
Then it
jacked.
would offset the whole vibe of The Office.
Yeah, well, that's
You'd
fair.
be like, who the hell is this dude?
Who's this guy? Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm Matt. Oh,
Yeah,
2
thank
months.
you, Swaggy McNolegs. I got a trophy for not eating meat for breakfast. It's a very common thing that people do. Sausage McMuffins and whatnot.
What you gonna have tonight? What you eat for dinner?
To be determined, but there will be meat involved because I have gotten no in writing promise of Giannis choosing the Bulls as free agent. You put a contract in front of me.
But you gonna get home just after this conversation and hug you. Be like, I'm never leaving you. I'm never leaving you.
I mean, it's like honestly seeing all those Portillo's rally cakes in the office the last few days during the
There's more
Cubs
beef.
wild card series.
Italian beef.
I was my mind. I haven't had a
You
beef
guys,
in a
I
while.
had Portillo's last night because I kept seeing the Portillo's in the
Thank
office.
you.
It works. There it is up there too.
That's
sitting
what I'm
up there,
talking about, Queen Katy.
Right in the corner of his eyes.
God,
sitting up there.
you know, yeah.
He'll be
What-
following through.
What if it was like the opposite? What if I could accomplish something in the world of my meat eating excellence that would then
Okay.
convince Giannis to sign with the Bulls?
I would
Look, if I ate a
say-
64-ounce steak.
That's nothing to you. Like,
No,
you
that's-
knocked
oh,
that
that's
out.
something.
You knocked that
That's
out.
something to ever. Do you know how big a
I feel
64-ounce
like
steak?
Two of them.
I feel like you really have to suffer. You
What would-
really gotta suffer.
What level of suffering would you endure, Katie, if it meant you knew Giannis was going to come to the Bulls?
I would have to really think about that.
You could
No
never-
Taylor Swift for 3 months.
I was going to say you could not listen to Taylor's. I was going to say
I could
ever
do
again.
that.
But that's too harsh.
What about
No, I
just
could do that.
not listen to this album? Like you just can't listen ever.
But I would hear everybody else talking about it.
Yeah.
That'd be torture.
And you'd feel so left out. You'd have insane FOMO.
I have FOMO like in my everyday life. I'm the worst with FOMO, so that would actually kill me. I don't know if I'd survive that. So yeah.
Man. All right, there it is.
In reality, here's the other stipulation to that question.
Okay.
I don't think it's happening. And not just with the Bulls, with any team. I think if Giannis does decide, I want it to be a buck for life, but I still want to compete for more championships. I want to win more championships, and it doesn't seem like it's happening here. I think he would give Milwaukee the courtesy of saying, I'm not signing another contract with y'all.
Okay.
Trade me somewhere so you can get something for me. Here is a list of teams I'd like to go to. I don't think Giannis is going to be a free agent between now and his current contract expiring. Or I don't think he's going to get to that point.
I mean, he's earned that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I
As
think
far as in his
absolutely.
career and what he's done for them. We could argue he's the greatest buck of all time, or second greatest of all time. We could argue those things, but he's earned that courtesy from that organization by single-handedly putting them back on the map. And I mean that when I say single-handedly.
Yeah.
Put them back on the map, yo. Like, yeah.
Nobody cared about the Bucks between young Kareem
Yeah.
and Giannis.
Exactly, man.
Maybe you could make an
Maybe
argument
the
for
Ray
the young
Allen,
Ray Allen, Big
Glenn
Dog, Glenn Robinson
right.
years,
Yeah,
Sam
maybe,
Cassell.
Maybe.
But
shout out. I don't want to disrespect the Terry Cummings, Paul Pressey,
Okay.
Sidney Green of the 80s, Jack
Okay.
Simon. They were cold. That
Yeah,
was a cold
okay.
team. But like on the map,
yeah.
it was Giannis, bro.
Yeah.
It was definitely Giannis.
Orlando said, if Giannis is serious about playing tournament success, the Bulls is where it's at. That's right. Giannis is the missing piece.
That's it.
For the Bulls to get over that play-in tournament hump.
I agree 100%.
That's what it takes.
Playing
That's what it
tournament
takes.
success is a strong word. They've never gotten out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's also an oxymoron.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
play-in
That's the
tournament
pitch.
Success.
Like, Giannis, you're the one piece away
Yeah.
from us not losing to the Heat in the playing tournament.
You are the
again.
one, sir.
Wait, Katie, did you give us a firm answer? How many months would you go not being allowed to listen to Tay-Tay if it meant Giannis would sign with the Bulls?
I mean, I could go a year if
A
I
whole
needed
year?
to. Yeah.
Okay.
There's other music out there. I'd be fine.
When's the last time what's the longest you've gone without listening to Taylor Swift?
I go through phases where I don't listen to music at all, and I just do straight podcasts. So I'd be fine. I've gone months at a time.
You've gone months without Taylor.
without any music. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I couldn't do that.
As we are winding down the timing of today's show, just a quick reminder, as we move towards overtime, for those of you watching on our streaming platforms and that Comcast Xfinity channel, if you want the bonus coverage, just head to allchgo.com. So, Katie, we are in overtime now, and that's right, Dreads, if you're still hanging out, brace yourself. Taylor's album dropped last night. It's Katie's last day. We wanted to give her a platform to just talk a little Taylor.
You want to come take my seat?
No, I'm gonna stay here.
Are you sure?
Good try.
Are you sure?
Yeah. No, I like my seat over here.
I like my seat over here. She's twirling her hair. It's like, okay.
Do you need something?
No, I
Okay.
need nothing. Well, yeah, I do need something, Katie. I need you to stay here and continue being our wonderful producer
Well.
next week and the months and years after that.
Well.
That's what I need.
There's no jail.
That's the
cell.
answer you're getting. If you ask me if I need something right now, when we are coming down in the final minutes of your last show, yeah, that's what I need.
Well.
What do you need?
I
What do you
can't do. I
need?
can't do that.
She's like, man.
I don't really. I can't
Katie's
do
like, I
that.
need to get
can't
outta
do that
here.
one. There's no. Bring a jail cell. Yeah.
We found you one. It was called Studio B. We were in there all week.
Yeah, I was in there all week. That was cold of you guys, by the way. Yeah, I don't care if you don't want to hear about Taylor Swift. You can leave. This is my show now for the next 2 minutes.
It's Katie's show.
So leave. I don't care. So here's what I did. I told the guys yesterday. I think they thought I was joking. I wasn't. I went through the new album that came out last night, and I matched up. I was gonna do Bulls players. That was too hard. So I did NBA personalities.
Oh, okay.
With songs from her album. I omitted one song. I'm not gonna explain why. I just did. So here's the rest of them, and I'm gonna walk you through it here.
Wow,
all right?
the life
Get
of a baller.
Ready.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Okay. The Fate of Ophelia, Modest Buzelis. The whole song is about being saved,
Being saved.
from the fate of, death, drowning, all that stuff. It's modest.
I literally used the
obviously.
word save me in a tweet about Modest 2 days ago.
Exactly, Matt. You get me. Thank you. Elizabeth Taylor, the whole song is about is this the one? Because Elizabeth Taylor was married 8 times. And it's is this the one? So I did LeBron James and JJ Redick because, all the controversy around LeBron and his coaches and he's always getting him fired, blah, 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 blah. So JJ
okay.
Redick. See where I went there?
That makes sense.
Walk
I
with
was
me.
thinking about their podcasting together, and I was like, what?
No, that would be
But yeah,
cute.
no, that makes sense.
Opalite, I went with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I went with one specific line from Opalite where she's talking about how when she was always like missing her exes. Her brother said it was like eating out of the trash. And it was like, why are you always looking back? You could look forward. And I was like, well, the Cavs were always like missing LeBron and like all this stuff. And like now they have such a great team. And like now they're finally celebrating their great team. Cleveland Cavaliers.
Love it.
Father figure. Go listen to the song and then you'll understand why it's about Woj and Shams. I'm not going to go into it any further than that.
Is it that Woj is the father figure to Shams, who then
like
took
the
his
mentor.
place?
Yeah.
Okay. I can see
I
that.
feel like that's the most interesting one. I want a little bit more
That's
explanation
my
there.
favorite song on the album. I think you should listen to it.
Okay.
I mean, it is great. Woj just vanished. I mean, you see the occasional tweet about St. Bonaventure or whatever, but like, yeah.
Why you gotta diss Bonaventure like
Yeah, why'd you say it with that disdain?
Damn.
Bonaventure.
I got nothing against him, but it's like, we got no Woj.
Eldest daughter, I went to Mar DeRozan, not only because he's like one of my faves of all time, but also because the song is about like being responsible for everyone and also like carrying this heavy weight of your own life and your own like personality. I thought that really fit DeMar's story.
Plus, I mean, his DR DeRozan, is that his oldest daughter? The one who like had the viral moment in the play-in tournament victory against Toronto.
Wow, I didn't even
couple
think
years
about
ago.
that. If that's his eldest daughter, that is a deep layer there.
There you go.
Wow, shout out.
Inception.
Actually, Romantic is a diss track, and it's basically about like being slighted. So I was like, Michael Jordan.
Oh, that's what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's what we were talking about
I liked it
earlier.
because it was so petty.
It was so petty.
Great.
Michael freaking
Told you
Jordan.
50 Cent, man.
Wish list is about like everybody wants like money and fame and all this stuff. I just want you. That's Nikola Jokic with championship trophies and horses. So that's him.
I love it.
All right, this one was tough because it was a song that is not children appropriate. I went with Victor Wembanyama for one specific line where she talks about like, I knew the ring was coming. It was just a matter of time. So I went with Wemby because it's like, he's going to win a ring. It's just a matter of time.
And wait, and she wrote these songs on the album that just dropped before that engagement happened?
Before the engagement. So thank goodness she got engaged
That's
before it
some-
came out because that would have been awkward.
We were talking about Josh Giddey's confidence earlier. That is some confidence.
Yeah.
It's Taylor Swift.
Canceled. Sorry, Emma. This is about the Los Angeles Clippers because it's about surrounding yourself. Emma just walked in. It's about surrounding yourself with people that have like the same drama and scandal as you. And like the Clippers are always just picking up guys that have like baggage and, Clippers, man.
Yep.
Honey, which is about like people who, patronized you in the past with pet names like Honey and Sweetie and stuff like that. I went with Anthony Edwards because a lot of things that NBA players do annoy me, but then when Anthony Edwards does them, I don't mind them because he just cracks me up.
He does seem to have a certain level of like, he talks a lot of, trash, but it's
Yeah.
like, it's somehow, he makes it endearing.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's just Ant being Ant.
Oh, it's Ant.
Yeah, I like
Ant.
it.
Yeah. And then the titular track here, Life of a Showgirl, I went Steph Curry because, he watched all these other stars and then he made his own way and now he's the showgirl. That's Katie's Corner.
I love it. Joel in the chat just said, Peck, Big Dave, and Go, you guys should go around and say something you appreciate about Katy. I mean, you think we would get out of here before... Katie's the worst. Of course.
I would be so much more comfortable with that if I'm being honest with you. Go ahead.
If you just mic dropped on your NBA player and Taylor Swift song title comparisons and then left. No. Well, we do have a couple presents for you, so we can do that.
No.
Present time.
Do you want me to end the show?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's getting out presents.
While you're doing that, I'll say my thing. Is that all right?
You wrapped them, Matt. Oh my God.
He wrapped
Thank
them.
You.
Oh my God, Matt.
This is so sweet. Do you want me to open this now or later?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Open your presents.
Are you sure you don't want to be on camera for this?
No, I don't want to be on camera. It would
It's okay.
be,
Emma's recording.
Oh my God. I'm
All right, well, I just want to say that when Joey left last year, I think we all took that pretty hard. And we all thought that that was going to be pretty devastating for our show.
Yep.
And for our group. Dave was probably fine, but everybody else, I think we just had gotten into such a good rhythm with him, and obviously just Joey's fantastic. But I was nervous going into next season because we're bringing in a new producer. We're going to have to learn how to do the show on the fly. I know that was like it's a bigger thing for Matt than me, but I was anxious about it. And I feel like Katy came in and immediately was such a good leader for our team. And like helped make our show so much better. And she does so many small things, whether it's like improving the thumbnails or just thinking about different ways that we can structure our program and thinking critically about how we can best serve all the wonderful people that watch our show every single day. I think she's brilliant. I think she really gets it in terms of like understanding what makes a show great. And I think we're really going to miss that. And I think it just felt like kind of more seamless than I ever thought it could after Joey left. So I really appreciate Katy. I have told her this to her face, but I'll tell it to all you people now. Yeah, she's been so fantastic to work with, and she is going to absolutely crush it at her next position. I'm really happy for you, Katy, and I'm really proud of you for doing it, because I know it's a hard thing to do, and I know you love this, and I know you want it to stay here, but I think it's a really good thing for you personally and professionally, and I'm really happy for you.
Okay, so the reason I didn't have all that, let me go back. I've known Katy the longest out of everyone here.
Flex.
When we first started here at CHGO, I went in that office where Jake is at, and I told him two things. I'll keep the one thing I said between me and him. But the other thing I told him was hire Katy Duffy. I was like, you're going to need her, bro. And so for the next 3 years, I was on his ass about hiring Katy Duffy, because I'm like, dude, you're going to need her. She's incredible. She's special. Trust me when I'm saying this. And when he asked me why I wanted her so much, I was like, one, you don't have anybody here like her. And two, she'll be perfect for Matt, and she will be perfect for Will. I was like, her and I just always disagree. Like, that's just how our relationship is. We're going to philosophically disagree about things in a loving way, but that's just how it is. But I knew she would be perfect. When we had these discussions when Joey left, I remember those text messages. Yeah, they weren't doing well. But I told them everything is fine because I know who's coming. And I kept telling them that. And I over and over told them that. I was like, dude, y'all don't understand. Katy is coming. Then we went out for drinks right here at Third Rail Tavern. Shout out Third Rail Tavern. I told Matt, and I was like, Matt, she is you. I promise you, she is you. She is you, dog. But she's honestly a little more insane. And I mean that in a great way. And I was like, you don't understand.
Chance, but okay.
I was like, she is incredible, bro. She is a workaholic. You guys don't know what y'all are about to get, but you're going to see it. I told anybody who would listen, I told it to Steven when Steven and I had this same conversation. So that's where my confidence and why I wasn't worried about it. Joey, man, I love Joey, dude. I will always love Joey Spathis. And this is how I always equated him and Katy. Joey was college, and Katy is graduate school.
Oh.
And that's the difference right there.
Joey does still owe me a term paper.
Yes, he does.
So that metaphor is applicable.
Yes, he does. Joey came in with us when we all were learning together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you would in college.
That's right.
You know, where you're all learning together and figuring out. And the stuff that he figured out how to do, he's a genius. Like Joey is a absolute genius. I knew what Katy was. That was the professor. I knew what she was about to bring in. That is what you bring in when you're about to get your doctorate degree. So I'm not surprised at any of her success. I'm not surprised at how great she was. I'm not surprised somebody came and got her for a year. I told her this. Like, I'm not shocked at any of this. I'm just immensely proud of her. And I tell her that as many times as I possibly can, because I am so proud of you, Katy, and just the person you are and what you do on a daily basis, man. And I'm going to keep telling you that.
Yeah, Dave was right.
That was awesome.
Dave was right. 100% right.
That was awesome.
About everything he just said. The fact that Katy was the right person for this job, and also he knew that before the rest of us knew that, and that the rest of us were freaking out.
Yes, they
and he was like, "Nah, dude, Katy Duffy's gonna come in.
Dude,
She's gonna run this shit.
She's coming." I'm telling
And you were right when you said like Katy's your level of for all of the hat throwing and the silliness and the movie. Like, when it comes to preparing for our show,
what I call you? Triple check Peck.
I'm a little bit psycho in my, and I wouldn't use the word perfectionist, but I'm just very thorough when it comes to feeling prepared for our show to try to give y'all out there in Bulls Nation, who we appreciate so much for tuning in every day, the best show possible. And like Joey and I developed a shorthand language between one another as, the lead of the show and the producer of the show. And I was like, how am I going to get that with whoever this next person is? Katy came in, produced our show, her second day of training
Yeah.
that was actually just like, well, I think we had a producer calling sick that day, and she just produced our show.
Right.
And then from there on out, it was just onward and upward, and she made me better at my job.
Yeah.
She made our show better in so many ways.
Yeah.
Late nights, cutting and editing, always offering feedback, always there when I pinged her on Slack. And also, like, in addition to just being better than I could have possibly expected as our producer, like, getting to know you. Like, I feel cheated because you have known Katy for so much longer, and I feel like we just got this one beautiful little year of Katy's brilliance. And as you said, not at all surprising that somebody else around Chicago sports media saw that same thing and are, you know, luring her away from us for a wonderful opportunity that we're very happy for her to have. And I know that it was a difficult decision.
Yeah.
And you didn't even take the offer of 15 minutes of Tay a show. I dangled that offer. I couldn't even get you to say yes to that. So again, very bittersweet, but Katy, like, for the rest of time, we'll appreciate how much you came in here and saved the freaking day.
Yeah.
When we lost a producer who had been our main producer for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And you found ways to build upon and improve upon what we had already built here. And I don't know what we still don't exactly have a firm plan for what happens next. We've got a rough schedule of patchwork production crew in place for next week.
Shout out to them.
It's going to be a work in progress,
Shout
but
out
I
to
know
those producers.
whoever comes in next for the first month at least, I'm going to look over to them and say, God damn it, you're not Katy Duffy. And it's going to be a process.
But I think you're absolutely right to bring up the, like, personal element of it, because I just totally agree with that. And I remember, like, I mean, this is probably not in actually your first week, but it feels like it probably was when we were watching a Bulls game over there and I got my dinner out and you were like, you're eating an effing salad. And she just like inserted herself into the show and into, like, our group in such a, like, seamless way.
Yeah.
And just, like, again, that was one of the things that I was unsure about. It's like how that next relationship was going to interact with our group, and she just, like, came right in and was, like, part of it right away.
No,
and
she
it was
worry
really
about
lucky
stuff like
that we had that.
Like, she would ask me, like, you know, am I too harsh? Am I coming in? And I was like, Katy,
No,
you work
that
with
was perfect.
I was like, you work with 3 insane people. You're fitting right in perfectly. It's exactly how you should. And Emma knows this about. I don't change people. You know what I mean? I'm not here to change. I wanted all of this. I wanted all of Katy Duffy, every bit of it. And once she got comfortable to that point where she could spread it, not just to us, but just to everyone around the office, it was everything became
When Katy
better.
started throwing Spitfire takes and opinions around
Yeah,
her,
bro.
I was like,
I was like,
okay.
come on with it.
Oh, okay, Katy.
Yeah,
Let's
come on with
freaking
it.
go.
Come on with it, man. Yeah.
You know, it's weird, the mind meld. When you spend a lot of time with people,
Yeah.
your work people, your work friends, and you'd, like, I mentioned the shorthand that Joey and I developed, like, my God, Katy, how many times over the past year? I mean, like, we were thinking the exact same thing at the exact same time. I did have one little last thing for you.
Okay.
Because Tay just dropped a new album, because I know it means a lot to you.
Oh, Peck coming for the heart, baby.
Despite the fact that I'm not a big Swiftie myself, I did listen to her album last night because it's important to you. And I picked and chose some Taylor Swift lyrics randomly from a bunch of songs that I feel I did my best to kind of define our time together.
Let's go, Peck.
and your importance here and your importance to me and to us. The story starts when it was hot and it was summer. That's when Joey told us he was leaving.
He did.
And soon enough, you're best friends, laughing at the other girls who think they're so cool. Have I known you 20 seconds or 20 years? And for a fortnight there, we were forever. Everybody's so punk on the internet. Everyone's unbothered till they're not. Every joke's just trolling and memes. Sad as it seems, apathy is hot. Everybody's cutthroat in the comments. Every single hot take is cold as ice. We play dumb, but we know exactly what we're doing. Did you girl boss too close to the sun? Good thing I like my friends canceled. I had the time of my life fighting dragons with you. There wouldn't be this if there hadn't been you. I think you should come live with me and we can be pirates. Then you won't have to cry. You're really going to be someone. Ask anyone. Love you to the moon and to Saturn.
Hey.
Katy Duffy, everybody. Katy Duffy.
I don't know what to say after that.
You can just say see red be good. Just kidding.
I was really scared to come in here. Dave knows that. Not only because this is the first time I'm I had the title of producer. I was doing the job before, but I didn't have the title. And I was also really scared to come in here because you guys are so close. And you're, every time I would watch your show, I was like, look at this little group of friends that just work together. And it meant so much that I came in and you guys just made a spot. And I was just there. And it was okay, I'm here now. That was it. And it just fit really well. And I can't tell you how much I'm going to miss coming in here and watching bad basketball. And we're not on Fast Channel anymore. No, that shit sucked.
Yeah.
That fucking sucked. This team
In
is
the trenches
horrible.
together, though, Katy.
But I didn't care because we had so much fun together. And I am, I just really appreciate how much I got to shit on Will for eating salad while I was eating pizza. And every time I got to look over at Dave and make a stupid little comment that nobody else could hear and watch Matt throw his phone and all that stuff. And that just has meant so much to me over the past year. And also all these people in the chat who stuck around. There's 100 of you watching. That's crazy. We're just sitting here being emotional. And I just appreciate every one of you that was kind to me in the chat, especially from the beginning. I had big shoes to fill, and you guys all made it so easy to try to do that. And they weren't kidding when they said that this is a really hard decision for me. This is genuinely one of the hardest decisions I've ever made to leave you guys, because I know how good you are and I know how good we are together. And I can't tell you how much I hope that our paths cross again, because I love you guys so freaking much. It is going to be really hard to look up from my, next desktop computer and see people who aren't you. And it's going to be really hard. But, I'm still going to be in the city. I'm going to stop by. And
the passcode to get in anytime you want to watch some crap basketball.
I'm going to use the passcode because I can't watch it at home. So
Pick an away game.
out here.
Pick an away game because otherwise I won't be here.
I will make sure you're here. Yeah. And I will bring you a salad.
I do love how when Joey was leaving and she's leaving, both of them were like, that shit stinks. These teams stink.
Yeah.
And we watched
just
I believe Joey's words were something I hope the Bulls lose every game this season.
Exactly with tears in his eyes. Yes, exactly how it happened.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. But yeah, I love you guys, and I appreciate you more than I can ever express, and I will have more things to say when I am not worried about ruining my mascara. And yeah, love you.
We love you, Katy. Everybody in the chat loves you. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for showing Katy that love. Don't be a stranger. Come through anytime. And, of course, we wish you the best of luck. Katy's going to slay it. Senior producer. Got that senior producer title, y'all, because she's a freaking boss. She was all of our bosses for a year, basically.
Do you want to say where you're going, or do you want to not say that? I don't know. You can if you want.
I don't know. Is it
just
is it frowned upon to say that?
Just in case people want to follow you to your
it's your last day here. You can say whatever the F you want.
So I'm going to be moving over to the Athletic Football Show with Robert Mays, Derek Klass, and Dave Hellman.
Flex.
I'm going to be a senior producer for them, which is really exciting.
Sure
and
is.
I'm excited to get started.
Are they going to let you get off the occasional take about Josh Giddey?
I don't think so. I actually don't think I have a mic on that show. So,
oh, no wonder you were apprehensive.
give me the phone number for whoever hired you, and I'm going to call that person and be like, give Katy Duffy a microphone on this year football program.
That'd be great.
I'll make sure that we have a live chat, and I'll be getting off the takes in the chat.
Okay.
It's going to be a really amazing opportunity. We're all
I can't wait to tune into it.
Proud of you and happy for you.
Katy's going to crush it, and we will miss her. We will roll on. Next week, we'll be back on Monday with another fresh episode, a fresh week of episodes. The Bulls' first preseason action is Tuesday night. Mm-hmm. We are less than a week away from actually watching Bulls basketball again. In the meantime, Again, Go Read Goat's exclusive feature on Noah Esenge, talking to his old pro coach in Germany, available now to our CHGO diehards. Hit that QR code, scan it, become a diehard today. Shout out to Ethan from the chat earlier who became a diehard today. It's a great life choice. You won't regret it. Follow Goat, Will _Gottlieb, read his stuff, allchgo.com. Big Dave's Bow. BAWL Sports. I'm Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO_Bulls. Have a great weekend, Bulls Nation. Bye week for the Bears. No stress. Although the Cubs, NLDS, starts tomorrow.
That rhymed.
Shout out to our CHGO Cubs crew. They'll be hanging out, keeping y'all company, watching the Cubs fight the Brewers in the next round of the MLB playoffs right here on the CHGO Sports Channel, the CHGO Cubs YouTube channel as well. Hit the like, hit the subscribe on your way out. We will talk to you on Monday. Katy is the queen. Katy is the queen now and forever. Katy, send us out.
Katy Dufay.
See red, be good. Peace.
I feel you.
We all silly like the mayor.